Definitely feeling like a Seattle grunge vibe today. You think? Bake. Shh. Also, I gotta show you something. 1 second. This is Biscuit. He's my new kitten. So now I've got Shake, Bake, and Biscuit. Wanna say hi, bud? Hi. I'm not obsessed. Shake and Bake are still getting used to him. So, hi. Alright, you done, bud? Yeah. Bye, everyone. Hi, everybody. It's AlsoAshley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're gonna crack a few eggs. That's right, we're gonna talk about more transness online. I don't want this to be my most controversial video, but it might end up being that way, which, controversy for me, is really me just saying, hey, look at this positive thing, and then me thinking that people are gonna take that the wrong way. But we do exist online, so as is usual for me on these videos, I don't know what the title is gonna be, so hopefully you clicked from a very creative title. Good job, future Ashley. But I usually just end up picking a topic and then kind of venting about it and discussing it and just being up on my grandstand talking to you all. It's what I do, you know? But I guess the general overview on this video is talking about the term crack an egg, egg cracking, breaking your egg. It's a trans term. I'll give the dictionary definition on screen. Does anybody even use a dictionary anymore? But really it just boils down to an egg referring to someone who is trans, but they don't know it yet. And when you crack your egg or break your egg, it's when you have that realization and you come out of your shell. I'm going to be honest, I never really got the egg thing. I'll happily embrace it, but I feel like it was past my time. Back in my day, it was just, oh, you're a woman now? So I didn't really have the cute name. I kind of like there's a fun term and some of the memes and stuff, but there's also aspects of it that I don't like, and we will get to that. But yes, there is egg cracking that we are discussing today. And then we're also going to touch on the evolution of trans creators online. It's almost like a Pokemon evolution. We'll touch on both of those things, I suppose. Okay, so let's talk about egg cracking. It's a pretty cutesy term, you know, it's really fun. It's a meme. It happens a lot. There's a Twitter account that people aren't sure whether or not that's actually run by someone that's progressive. And it's become kind of a part of pop culture in general. Obviously, I see it used in trans spaces, but I've seen it kind of fluctuate a bit and kind of grow a bigger audience, a bigger understanding. And generally, I'd say it's not a very harmful meme or term. I think that, like all things, intention's a big one. And how people are using that meme or term really changes its meaning and dynamic. So yes, not a massive hot take saying it's relatively harmless. But my hot take is basically acknowledging that it is being used inappropriately lately. Ooh, controversial. Back when it initially started, and the way I kind of enjoy its use is a retroactive term or meme. Someone who's now confident in who they are, using that as kind of a jokey way to look back at their past selves. You know, my egg wasn't cracked here yet. Oh, how cute I was before my egg cracked. I can't believe that didn't crack my egg. Said egg too many times now, it doesn't feel real. Oh, Animorphs. I can't believe that didn't show me my egg cracking yet. You know, I'm just spitballing stuff, but you understand. It's someone self-confident in themselves, kind of gaining the achievement of using the term for themselves. I've never disapproved of that method of using the term. I think that's great. It's fun, it's cute, adorable. But it has evolved over time and now is almost used as a bullying tactic, and I do not approve of that method. As I have touched on many times here, everyone's trans journey is different, and using that term as a throwaway meme or joke to apply to someone else that you are assuming may be trans may actually be a lot more harmful to that person than you think. Also, all of that involves you making assumptions about that person. There is a huge difference between saying, oh, I'm self-confident now and my egg hadn't cracked during this time, as opposed to, oh, your egg's not cracked yet. Oh, you're actually trans when you get to crack your egg. It's a fascinating development in the evolution of how it's being used. Honestly, I've been seeing it used more and more recently in that method than the other, which is not cool, you know? I don't think that method is very healthy, especially for someone who's going through a trans experience. You really don't need that kind of pressure. And let me clarify, I am not the joke police, okay? People who are comfortable using it the way that they are amongst friends, or what jokes aren't allowed. That's not my job. And as you all know, my sense of humor is fucked, so I definitely cannot be the joke police. But I did want to touch on this a little bit just because I have seen it affect people. I have seen people that don't find it funny, that don't think it's a joke, and I'm seeing it used more and more as a very strange bullying tactic. Are you ready? We're about to jump back over the meat of this video. Bit of a warning, I will be using the term femboy throughout this. I know some folks aren't fans of that word. I am discussing online internet culture where that term is used for a very specific reason. So I will be using it in that way. Not trying to offend anyone. Let's talk about the evolution of a trans content creator. Straight cis, jokes about it online, curious, femboy, trans. That's it. That's the evolution. That's how it works. Obviously, I'm joking. It's a lot more complicated than that. Or is it? In my own personal experience, I started out the way that most folks do who are queer, which is thinking you're a straight cis person. Because most of us are birthed into the world. Birthed. Because most of us wake up screaming in this world. With that as the baseline that we need to follow. That's slowly changing. But over time, if you are queer and you come into yourself, you might start to realize, maybe I'm not as straight and cis as I thought I was. Then you're open up to kind of making jokes about it. Oh, chat, what if I dressed up as a girl? Being a girl would be silly. Oh, that would be, jokes. Wouldn't it be silly if I dressed up as a girl, you guys? Then you're on your, stream. That's how you stream. Isn't it funny, chat? Wouldn't it be funny if I was a girl? It would be so, wouldn't it be awful if I was in that situation? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't dress up as a girl. Oh, chat, I guess this time I'll do it. I guess I'll dress up this one time. Okay, chat, so it's getting a bit more... You all seem to like it. It wasn't me, so I guess I'll explore further. I guess I'm stuck. I guess I'll dress up again. And then suddenly your social media bio, it says femboy. But it's like a joke, though. It's kind of like a joke still. And then you start making more and more content, and it's still kind of a joke, but also there's a couple moments that happen where you're like, this isn't a joke anymore. People in the comments are like, everyone online just does this. This is how you're online. It's not a joke anymore. That picture, it's not really a joke anymore. And then maybe your self-confidence hits and your understanding and your evolution, and you might realize, I'm trans. Egg, cracked. It's broken. It's gone. That's a pretty sketch form version of what I'm talking about. And we'll touch on little subjects within that evolution. But from what I've seen, a lot of online trans content creators follow that path. This is like my hot girl Instagram video. I'm giving you all these secrets on how to be successful at things and charging you nothing. Well, I am charging you something. You have to listen to me. So that's the exchange. Be my friend. Now, there is nothing wrong with the evolution and the path that I just described. If you're going through that, that is your journey. That is your path. It also hits a lot of very key moments that I think all trans folks go through. When it's online, those moments all kind of align, right? So social media allows you to joke about that thing. Twitch, streaming, YouTube content, other forms of social media where you have a base or fans also create the scenario in which you can experiment, test, wear clothes, try stuff on, and feel a bit guilt-free from it without holding yourself to a certain standard. That's great. That's awesome. That's exploration. Then you kind of evolve into a new form in which you aren't as ashamed about it and you kind of embrace it, and it's no longer really a joke. It's just kind of part of who you are, or a bit of both. And then you find your true self. For some folks, that means, hey, I'm trans. For other folks, maybe it's fluid. For other folks, maybe they're not either. And that's fucking okay. This is where I integrate what I was talking about at the beginning, though. When you're doing something like this so publicly, there's a lot more scrutiny. There's a lot more observation. And there's a lot more pushing than if you were to be experiencing these specific beats on your own time, in your own world. If you are in your femboy phase, as I have generalized, having a bunch of fans and folks come forward and pressure you or push you or make you take another step that you may not want to is not healthy for you. That seems like a pretty simple thing to say, but I've seen a lot of it happening lately. And it's not healthy for the folks doing it or for the folks experiencing it. So as a general culture of online transness, I think we really need to take like a step back sometimes and just realize that ebb and flow online, back and forth, should never feel like bullying someone into finding their true self. How do you find your true self when fans or your friends or other people are pushing you in that direction? I think that can cause a lot of confusion and regret for doing something you may not be ready for, you know? Is this video just another Ashley lecture? I'm not trying to be, lecturing. These are just general things I want to talk about with folks. I find it very interesting, and it needs to be discussed more. It's just the truth. Transness in general needs to be just discussed more. Fluidness, queerness, all of it. Let's get to talking, everybody. In my overall discussion of that evolution, several content creators, queer, trans, may have even popped into your head that made you go, oh, yeah, no, I've seen that. I've seen that evolution. I went through that evolution. The difference with me, though, I'm going to use a code word, girlification. Do you get it? You know what I'm saying? It's a code word. Girlification. 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 What was unique to my experience was during that jokey femboy era for me, I liked the form of folks pushing me. I encouraged it. So who am I one to talk, right? Here's the thing, though. I consented to that. So maybe that's the big difference, That was a part of my own journey of self-discovery and how I found myself. I asked for that. People who aren't, folks who are just finding their own path, don't do that if they don't want it and they don't ask for it. It's pretty simple. So now is the part in the video where some of my audience is going to get a little bit uncomfortable. That's okay, though. It's okay to be uncomfortable sometimes. Everything I just described, that evolution, there is money to be made in that. Those same content creators that probably popped into your mind, they probably make bank existing in that form. And I'm not talking about what they do. I'm not talking about like streaming and all that. That actual evolution I just described, that path, there is money that can be made in that path and being public about that. You think? And I guess the question that can be raised around that is that healthy? Is that a good thing for the trans community in general? I don't know if I have an answer. Crazy, right? I mean, I could tell you my opinion. That's what I'm doing. Surprise, surprise. I think it's a double-edged sword. I think when it comes to consenting folks all being involved in that, great. I also think that there is a danger and a risk to monetizing something so personal and close to you. A risk of folks judging you, a risk of fans pushing you places you don't want to go, a risk of making your transition, your existence, such a public thing. Pressure, Pressure you maybe didn't want or wouldn't be feeling if you were experiencing this on your own. And a big part of this is like, well, how do you make money off of that path I described? Dangerous territory, fishistic aspects of society. Gotta use all these code words. There are people that will pay to see that journey happen. Here's the crazy truth. There's nothing wrong with that. If everyone's consenting around it, if that's part of the deal and the exchange. It's how I make a living. It's how I got to where I'm at now. It's probably controversial for me to say. But my methodology and everything I've ever talked about has said one of these things doesn't have to always impact the other. And those two separate creations can exist simultaneously together and also exist separately. They don't have to have impact on one way or the other. But the danger of monetizing that journey for yourself and making it so public is that they may start blending together. That idea of fishistic monetization, and your own personal journey and where you want to be in it. This is all making sense, right? I know I'm using code words because of the subject matter, which I really shouldn't have to, you know? This is just a fact of life I am talking about. These are things that exist in the real world. Some folks only monetize like the second part of that, right? The jokey aspect. Dressing up as a woman is funny and jokey. That, I would argue, probably is a bit more harmful in general. I try my best not to judge folks, and I don't think we should live in a world where we even judge someone for dressing however they like, straight, queer, or not. We don't live in that world yet. Hopefully one day. But I can't understand the frustration that some folks see from a very straight, cis person entering that space and monetizing that whole aspect while never actually discovering themselves, coming out, or genuinely maybe finding it all an actual joke. Intent means a lot in what I'm discussing. Intention of that person. But come on. I think it's pretty obvious when someone finds that to be a joke and only a joke and are only doing it to harm others and make fun of them. That's the exact thing I'm trying to avoid when I'm discussing all of this. Surprise, surprise, it's consent is the big word, you know, for all of this. I'm not even trying to make an ultimate point or really have a thesis or an answer to all of this at the end of the day. I wish I could. I wish I could put a little, like, couple Ashley sentences where I say, open a book and remember, I post online and say, here's the end-all, be-all answer for this. Queerness in general, it fluctuates, it's fluid, so it's hard to, like, pin down and give a direct explanation or sentence to sum up anything. That's a beautiful aspect of it, honestly. But I think in general I wanted to talk on this just because I wanted to bring it up and allow it to be brought up. Listen to me stutter there. And hear thoughts and opinions, you know? But you may have also picked up on the fact that a large part of what I discussed was basically saying, give folks a break, let them find themselves, as usual when I'm talking about anything. I'm always trying to be optimistic, I guess. That'll be my downfall. But I guess if I want to, find a close here, I suppose something I would offer is find out what someone's intent is. I don't think it's a bad thing to ask questions, to be curious. I would prefer that over accusations and bullying. You know, if a straight, cis, het dude is dressing up as a woman as a joke, that's a rough thing to pin down. Because what is it? Is it discovery or is it intentional harm? Maybe you should just ask them, what's your intent here? What does this mean to you? Why are you doing this? I mean, really, I'd love to live in a world one day where someone dressing up as a woman and the joke being, oh, they're actually a man, is not really a joke anymore. Remember Mulan? The way her cross-dressing is treated in that film is very respectful. It's seen as a noble, honorable act. But in the back half of that movie, when the cross-dressing is inverted, suddenly it's a big joke, right? Look at how goofy this is. Oh, haha, isn't that funny? The ending of Mulan would be very different if they all just, started up a Twitch account. But I think this is a very difficult subject to discuss, right? You never want to approach a trans woman and ask them why they're dressed the way they are. But you also don't want straight men dressing up as women as a joke or an insult. And what I've found is that the online space has a very large spectrum between those two things. And you can land anywhere within it. And some folks monetize that. But that's not gonna last as long as y'all think. The world's changing. Everyone's getting used to us. As angry as a lot of folks are, trans people aren't going away. And all those angry comedians might be right. Maybe some jokes are gonna disappear, you know? Maybe in the future the ending of Mulan won't be so funny. I hope so. All right, I'm done venting. I did my thing. How y'all doing? How you feeling about this? I want to hear about it in the comments. I think it's a touchy subject. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm hoping this video furthers more discussion and interaction and observation in general. And also, if you want to help out, share this video around, follow my stuff, support me somewhere. Sharing, liking, all that stuff is actually incredibly helpful for my channel, and it allows me to keep doing what I'm doing. So I guess this is my first big call out, but please share me around. That's not what I meant. Please share. Please share my videos around. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Be hot. Resist fascism.